It's Sort of Storms coming in with my daily live stream. Like the title suggests, I got a lot I can talk about tonight. So I'm hoping you guys are ready to have some interesting chats. Obviously, I'm always down for any type of question, comment, concern, or whatever you guys got for me. The chat keeps a stream a lot more interesting. So basically, what I'm saying is y'all do whatever you want, and we can go from there. It's a free country, after all, for now. But yeah, guys, we got a lot to dig into today. So I'll probably just get right into it, and whenever people start showing up, is when they can start digging into the meat of the conversation too. So basically, how I'm gonna sustain is with the intro. What's up, everybody? It's Dakota Storms coming in with another update, life update, storm update, all the type of updates you could possibly be looking for. That's going to be happening right now, right here. So let's get ready to go. Yeah, but enough. With that said, let's get right into it. I have been just dragging it on for like 2 minutes, but I'm actually going to start now. And we'll start off like this. I'll start off with a little bit of a story this morning. So you guys know me. Well, you don't know me, but one thing you should know about me is I'm the type of person I love eating spicy food. I'll pretty much anywhere I go, anytime, I'll get one of the spiciest things they got on their menu, for better or for worse, right? But here's the issue. You would think a guy who has spicy stuff all the time has some immaculate tolerance, right? But me, I don't for some reason. Obviously, I got better tolerance than the average dude, um, or the average woman. I got better tolerance than the average person. But boy, this things still get hot. It was so bad. I had something called. It was called the Wild Willie's Fuego Inferno, and that thing sounds goofy, right? Willie, that doesn't sound too bad. Well, Wild Willie lived up to his name, and it was pretty wild. What's up, Lambo VR? Right now, I'm talking about this really spicy burger I had today. Then I'm going to talk about whatever else you guys pop up in the chat. I'm just going to go with the flow. But that's the first thing I want to talk about right now. And I want to say that burger was damn hot. It was insane. It had me walking laps around my house. I drank, I think, 4 glasses of milk. And if you're wondering what was on that burger, it was jalapenos, habaneros, ghost pepper sauce, and then I had a side of Carolina Reaper dipping sauce and I dip it into, and I also had ranch. I needed a little bit of a break sometimes. I'm gonna quick read some more chats because there was a bunch that popped up. Jaden, Jaden J, Jaden JP49 says, "Hey, what's up, Jaden JP49?" Um, and then the Easter Bunny, I'm the Easter Bunny says that I'm the Easter Bunny, I'm the Easter Bunny, I'm the Easter Bunny, I'm the Easter Bunny, I'm the Easter Bunny. And then Jaden JP90 or 49 says, "I liked and subscribed. Really appreciate you, man. We're on the road to 400. And by the way, guys, for my 350 subscriber special, I did 350 push-ups. If you don't believe me, you can scroll through my channel, and you don't have to go too far back, and you'll see, damn, this guy really did do 350 push-ups, full extension and all. My chest touched the floor, full extension of arms. It was pretty insane. Now, the question. Now, what do I do for 400 subscribers once I cross that road? That's a great question. Obviously, if you guys have suggestions, shoot it down in the chat below or comment on one of my videos. What's up? I'm the Easter Bunny. He says hi. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions what I should do for 400 subscribers, put it down below. I don't know if I'll do another push-up video yet. We will see. I want to do kind of all sorts of challenges. Whether it's eating challenges like spicy foods, whether it's endurance, fitness, pain challenges. Pain tolerance is always fun to watch. There's this one guy on YouTube, I think his name is like Houston Jones. His whole shtick is just getting hit by really painful things. So I could do something like that too. My pain tolerance is okay, not insane, but I could try something like that too. But that being said, I'm going to talk about some weather coming up because I feel like that's a very important thing to talk about right now. Um, Friday is a day that we want to watch very, very, very carefully, especially here in North Dakota. There's a graph, right, that charts how the potential for supercells, and that chart is looking pretty damn potent, and along with a lot of other ingredients that are in lining up for a pretty good day for storms, such as Cape. Yes, I'm talking about weather right now, but yeah, weather in North Dakota. I'm in summer break. Me too, man. Um, I got out a little bit early. I've probably been about a little bit over a month that I've been in a summer break, and crazy to think it's probably almost like halfway done. You're in Florida. You gotta enjoy the Florida weather, man. I know it's hot, humid there, but I guarantee during winter you guys are loving it. North Dakota is insanely bipolar, although it has been beautiful outside. I've been loving the weather here, like 80s. That's perfect, perfect summer weather. I don't like it much hotter than that. So, but yeah, so Friday, everything is on the table, whether it's tornadoes, whether it's significant hail, significant wind. It's especially looking like it's going to be prominent for central North Dakota and eastern North Dakota. Those, I would say, is the biggest two um, areas of concern. In terms of North Dakota, in terms of North Dakota, tornadoes, yep. Tornadoes are possible too. I have yet to see how likely these tornadoes are yet. Um, it's very possible that we will. It's very likely that we'll have at least a 2%. A 5%, I would say, is definitely possible. I don't believe we will see a 10% hatch, though. Obviously, I can be wrong. I have been wrong several times in my life. But we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see, and I'll keep you guys updated, obviously. And also, here's in other news. I posted two shorts today. You guys were blessed extra today, just because one, there's a storm coming up on Friday, and two, I did one of my daily storm videos from all that severe weather we had just last week, and I just don't want to. I just want to make sure that I don't pump all my content out at once, and then have a weird position where I have nothing to share. So I'm going to be slowly pumping out that content, probably daily or every other day with the storm videos, and then weather updates. I'll try to do shorts every day because shorts typically do pretty good and get a lot of engagement and sometimes a good amount of subscribers too. So obviously the live streams, I'm going to try to keep that up too because there's a cat and he has yellow eyes when I flash the lights. And why is this dude not moving? Move, move, move. Dude, what is this? Dude, that cat might have been the stupidest cat I've ever seen. No urgency at all, unless he was old. Ever played Call of Duty? Yes, I have played Call of Duty. Not as much as I would like to, though, just because I don't have Game Pass anymore. I was pretty decent at the Cold War, I think. Cold War, I think, was the one I was probably best at. Was it Black Ops 2? One of the two. Black Ops 2 Remastered, I should say, or Cold War. I unfortunately had very strict parents, so I never got to play it as much when I was a kid. Um, I started playing my first like rated teen game when I was like 15, which is so bad. I might have been 14 actually. I think my first rated T game was Injustice 2. Injustice 2. And I still play that game sometimes. And then one of my favorite games of all time was Halo 5. Hot take, very very hot take. A lot of people are not fans of Halo 5 just because the story was kind of cheeks, but the multiplayer gameplay was sick. So honestly, I think Halo 5 is super underrated. Honestly, do you play Black Ops 6? I don't think so. Is that the new one? I don't think. Hey, okay. These mechanics supposedly fix my Windows, but look at this. What? There's something up here. Anyways, sorry about that, guys. I was trash at WSG1. So Warzone 1. I think that's is that kind of like the uh, PVE, player versus everyone. I think I'm thinking the right one. World. I didn't even know they came out with a second one. To be honest, that's news to me. Another game that is really really fun, but I haven't played enough is Marvel Rivals. I've sometimes when I'm at one of my buddies' house, he has it. So, or barbershop. He owns a barbershop. I play Marvel Rivals sometimes, and it's kind of a fun game. But the one problem is I'm not very good at it, and a lot of the people that I play are pretty good. So it's kind of a type of thing that it's just like not as fun because they kind of just you know destroy me pretty quickly. So my cousin's window is cracked. I'm sorry to hear that about your cousin. A lot of questions can come from that. How did the window crack? Were you guys throwing baseballs in the house, or what happened? I'm sure it's probably something not insanely crazy, but sometimes there's some good stories behind normal things. There's some weird looking thing out there. It looks like a chair or something. Okay. Dawson Latham, what's up, dude? He says, "What's up, man? I missed your last four live streams. Been busy with my sister's wedding and everything. Dude, do not stress it. Life happens. Life happens. I'm just kind of here whenever people want to stop in, tune in, and see what's up. You don't got to worry about it, man. Congratulations to your sister getting married. My sister's getting married this next summer, and I am absolutely hyped. I have not been to a wedding since I was like a fifth grader, and I'm absolutely pumped to go to a wedding again. Oh. That was almost bad. We almost just got stuck in water. Okay. But yeah, that's good to hear. I'm glad you're in here today. I'm just talking about whatever comes up in the chat pretty much. And I talked about some severe weather that's possible, well, not even possible, likely on Friday. And I talked about this extremely spicy sandwich, which, by the way, let me finish my story. It messed me up. My stomach's still messed up right now. I feel like almost kind of nauseous. So, um, spicy sandwiches, not for everybody, I guess, but I'm going to continue eating them just to build my tolerance more and more because that's how you do it eventually. It's like there's a story of a guy. Um, this is actually a really cool story that I seen the other day. There's this guy, right? And he would willingly let himself get bit by all different types of snakes, right? So slowly he would start off with little amounts of the venom, right? And he'd work his way up until he get full on actual bites from hundreds of snakes. I think he's done about 200 snakes. Now, that's the crazy part. Now, when he gets bit by snakes, his body is so built used to the venom that it doesn't even react anymore. So he basically has anti venom in his body. So get this. This is where it gets crazy. Now scientists are trying to get some of his blood so that they can basically have a breakthrough in anti venom because this guy has been bitten by like everything. So all your most common snake bites could be cured with this guy's blood. And personally, I find that so cool, so cool. That your body, if you slowly expose it to something, it basically can become like a snake. Like snake venom, some of the deadliest snake venom in the world, basically turns into just a regular snake bite if you're this guy. So, what is the point of that? I don't remember, but I'm just basically saying that it's insane, and it almost makes me want to do something like that. Obviously, you'd have to do it with trained professionals and things like that, but it would be so cool to be bitten by a snake and not even have to worry about it. You could just straight up be the meat shield for all your friends, you know? Yeah, I'm the East, I'm the lucky fine by myself. Yeah, and he says, and he made an anti venom. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's so cool actually. Because snakes kill a lot of people a year. So with this guy's blood, this is such a big breakthrough, and I personally believe it needs to be talked about more. Although there's so much other stuff in the news that kind of makes it reasonable to as we're not getting more coverage on this, but I do believe that this needs to be shared more because a lot of the people, especially in those tropical areas or jungle areas, um, encounter a lot of snakes, and even here in North Dakota, we have rattlesnakes. So it would be extremely, extremely beneficial for a lot of people for this guy's blood to be shared. And additionally, it will make this dude tons of money because no one else has ever done something like this, to my knowledge. And it is so cool. I personally love snakes. I love, love, love snakes. Love snakes and scorpions. Those are my like one of my favorite animals. I have no idea why, but I want a pet scorpion someday, and hopefully I can achieve that when I'm a little bit older. So, scorpions are so cool. You gotta you gotta make sure you get the all the venom drained out of it. Where am I going? I'm just on my way home. I live out of town, so it's always a little bit of a drive. So it's perfect time to stream because it takes a bit for me to get home. My stream is when I started driving, so it takes roughly 17 minutes, 18, 19 minutes to get home. Um, and if I speed, probably I can bring it down a couple minutes too. But I was going pretty reasonable speed because, I'm not in no hurry. All I got to do the rest of the night is just eat supper, throw some clothes into the dryer, and I don't know, probably read a book, honestly. Or play Clash of Clans, one or two. Just got Here's some big news, guys. I just got Town Hall 17 in Clash of Clans. I don't know if anybody out there plays it. Um, what's the speed limit on my road? So on country roads, I don't even know what the speed limit is, to be honest. I have no idea. But when I'm in a hurry, I usually go 70 on the country roads, and I do know that's probably not the safest thing because the traction's not nearly as good, and you can also mess up your tires. But you know what? So you gotta do what you gotta do. You don't want to be late for work or anything like that. So, but I have heard that they're like 55 though, but I don't know if that's true. So if they're 55, I'm barely speeding. I'm just going 15 over. And the thing is, we don't really have cops that come and venture into the country. So, if okay, here's a question I'm gonna pose to you guys: is there a law if there's nobody to enforce it? Like that actually is maybe that's not a good question. But like, okay, here let's put it this way: it's pretty much gravel, just gravel, loose rock, stuff like that. And if you lose attention or if you don't pay attention, you can end up in a ditch real quick. So you don't want that, especially when the roads are wet. Oh my gosh, they get horrible. Um, the other just probably like a month ago, we had a huge rain system, and it dropped tons of rain. I think it was about 6 inches of rain. And the roads were so trash I couldn't even drive my car. Because you wouldn't even be able to like barely move. Okay. And Dawson Latham is saying what you're trying to say is the law. Uh, there is no law if there's no one trying to enforce it. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to say. I mean, that can be taken the wrong way, but basically what I'm trying to say is like, why would anybody listen to the law if there's no money, if there's no consequences or nobody to enforce it? You know what I mean? So, like for example, like why would I not speed if there's if I know there's not going to be a cop to catch me because there's never going to be a cop out here, right? I've never seen a cop out here, so one of these times maybe I can see him, but that's my point. If you were in town and there'd never be cops driving around. Let's say it was illegal for them to drive around town unless they're on duty, and actively pursuing somebody. You can't tell me everybody wouldn't speed. Everybody would speed. Everybody would go 10 miles per hour, 20 miles per hour. Why would there even be a speed limit? Because if there's no if there's a speed limit, that would say that there's consequences if you don't follow the rules. And if there's nobody to enforce it, then damn, nobody's gonna follow the rules, right? That's why they need to have rules and government and stuff like that. Although I think government probably needs some reform or something because I think there's a lot too much corruption, power up for those people on top, and I feel like the democracies democracy of countries is slowly fading away, and it's basically just turning into an illusion of democracy, in my opinion. Um, that's a whole rabbit hole, in my opinion. I keep saying that, in my opinion. That's a whole rabbit hole, though, that you can go down. I just believe that um, we do not have as much power as uh, you may think. Is what I'm trying to say. Like the American people. Dawson Lake, 30 minutes out of my town. Exactly what I'm saying, right? Um, like there's not going to be cops really sticking around there, so you have that freedom to go fast because basically cops' whole purpose is, in my opinion, cops' whole purpose is not to catch criminals, although it's a huge part, but more so to scare people, right? Scare people from doing things. It's basically you want to, what's the word? You want to stray them away from doing things, right? Because it's just a possibility of seeing a cop somewhere. Sometimes you're thinking about going in an abandoned building that's illegal. It's trespassing. But then you're like, well, shit. What happens if a cop drives by, sees us going in here? That type of thing. It's like, okay. Let me put this. This is a great analogy, actually. Cops are a lot like Batman, right? Batman and cops are like the same. Think of it that way, because Batman cannot be everywhere. But what if what if he catches you? What if he just happens to catch you? Then, well, shit, it's gonna be a bad day. Same with cops; they can't be everywhere, but they are a lot of places. And if they catch you doing something, then that's gonna be a bad day. So like going in an abandoned building or something, or going breaking into somebody's house, for example. Batman might not catch you because he's chasing other criminals or something. But there's always a chance Batman's freed up and he sees somebody breaking into somebody's house and he'll take you down. Or same with cops. I hope you guys like my Batman analogy. I feel like that I'm kind of cooking there. I feel like that's a great analogy. Also, Batman's kind of a dude. I seen a poll on YouTube the other day that said which superhero has the most aura, and it was like Batman, Superman, Iron Man, and Captain America, I think. And honestly, I think Batman all the way. Now, Batman's not my favorite hero by any means because he's just some rich dude. But it's still cool, like that dude is just cold, He's a cool guy, I suppose, and he does cool things. Batman's a dude. I'd say my actual favorite superhero would be Iron Man, just because of how the Marvel portrayed him. Robert Downey Jr. played a great character. He was funny, everything that you're looking for a character. And I haven't been into Marvel for a little bit now, but now I'm back into it. I've seen the Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts was a great movie. Um, and I think that this new Avengers movie, Doomsday, is going to be incredible, and because it has to be. So I'm super super pumped for that movie. I think it comes out next year. Um, so guys, I think that the MCU might be back, and I hope it is. 'Cause there was a lot of childhood memories. So with that being said, guys, I have arrived at home, so I'm gonna go and eat up and get ready to go to bed, stuff like that. Uh, I will respond to you, Latham. Do I like the Jurassic series? I feel like it's up and down. The original Jurassic Park was very good. I don't remember what happened in the second one. It's been a minute. The one where the Spinosaurus and the Tyrannosaurus fight, that's a sick one too. Jurassic World 1, super, super good. I love Jurassic World 1. I don't think it was my favorite of the whole series, but it was a really good movie. Jurassic World 2. Jurassic World 2, I think that one was kind of ass, honestly. It was in a house the whole time. And I thought that was such a lame concept that the dinosaurs um aren't even gonna be outside the house. It was like an auction one. I was like, what the fuck are we doing here? You know? And it was so. I hated the second one. I think it was the second one where the dinosaurs chasing them around the house. It's so stupid. Um, and the third one, straight up, I don't remember what even happened. I don't even remember what happened. I do know the first one of my favorite of the World series was the first one. Jurassic World 1 was my favorite out of the three. But yeah, see, Dawson Latham's talking about the new Jurassic World and that it's going to be good. I hope so. I'd love if there's. I think they have learned a lot. What went wrong with those last two movies, movie two and movie three. Also, I think movie three, it had one of the most annoying kids I've ever seen. Yep, I do remember movie three. It didn't. I did not like it. It had a super annoying kid in there. Um, she was like she was like a teenager, and her whole role was just to be a snob. I hated it. She's just like, no, I, you don't understand me. You don't understand. Quick rant. I hate movies when they have a sequel. One of the kid characters grows a little bit older, and then that's their entire role of the movie, just to be a snobby little bitch. I hate it. Um, so many examples of movies that do that, and it's sick. Like, why why wouldn't you not have some creativity? Um, my little sister and my older sister both love Disney, right? So some of those movies are iconic. The first movies are so good, so good. Classics. But then they release a sequel that's total garbage. It is so bad, and it follows the same thing every single time. I want you guys to notice that they do not do a single original. They don't do a single original sequel ever. Um, for example, let's come up with some examples. Jungle. Whole plot of the story. Second story is Mowgli runs off because they don't understand him. Oh no. Lady and the Tramp 2. They have a kid. He thinks that they don't understand him, so he runs off, has his own adventure, and he's a little whiny thing. Wow, sound familiar? Okay, well, what about Cinderella? Oh, okay. The prince and Cinderella have a kid. Guess what the kid does? Man, my lights turned off. The kid. Let's turn up my brightness. Okay, we just need to have our light on here. That's all I want right now. Okay, so the kid and Cinderella thinks that the mom doesn't understand. Oh no, my mom doesn't understand me, and runs off. And guess what? Little Mermaid, same thing. Her and the prince have a kid, and guess what the kid does? Thinks that they don't understand him. Goes through the exact same story as Ariel, and okay. Basically, my point is Disney second movies sequels. are almost all ass. Some of the newer ones are so much better with it, like Moana 2. I haven't even seen it, but I heard it was good. Or Elsa 2. Um, Although with Elsa 2, I honestly hated that there was no villain. It just was stupid. So Elsa 1 was better. My little sister used to watch that all the time, so I'm very familiar with it. And the first one was a good story. It had a plot twist I didn't see coming. So, and I bet you guys, if we look at tons of more Disney movies, they do the exact same thing where the queen the prince and the princess get married. They have a kid, and the kid just turns out to be a snob and thinks that the parents don't understand him. You know, it's so stupid. And so many other movies follow that exact same track. It's like, can we please come up with something different? Like, I get the kids a little bit older, and they're going through teenage years, and that's the stereotype for teenage years. But you can still make them the same character. You can give them something else to do. They can still just be a nice person and not just a snob that everyone hates the whole movie. But that is one of the most annoying things I've ever seen with films is when they go down that trope. It pisses me off. Like, I will turn off a movie if it will go down that trope. Like, 100%. You can do that trope right though. You can do that trope right. Um, like The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings. It follows a father's story. Hobbs, or not Hob. What the hell, Hobbs? What is his name again? Bilbo. Follows Bilbo's story, and then it follows Frodo's story, and it's so good. It's not the same story. It's not the stupid stereotype of whiny kid. That is how you do it. And I know Frodo's not really a teen. I don't think in his Lord of the Rings movies, but point being is movies need to stop going down the exact same tropes every single time. It's just stupid. And I get it might be hard to come up with sequels sometimes, but come on. But that was my little rant about the movies and when they do those stupid tropes. Hope you guys can hear me. I hope you guys can hear me. Sometimes my phone gets weird. Um, but yeah, that is it grinds my gears like in the worst way possible. It is insanely dumb. That's why some of these most iconic Disney movies, you're not gonna even know that they had a sequel. You'll never even know. You'll be like, wait, what? Cinderella had a sequel? But never, honestly, do not waste your time watching any of the older Disney sequels. Um, because it's an iconic story, and then they can't build off of it. Which, by the way, one more thing before I turn off the stream, I have heard that Walt Disney stole a lot of these stories from other things like other people, legends, lore, and things like that. I've heard that he stole them, which would make sense as to why when they try to make a sequel, it'd always be so bad because they wouldn't be they'd have to come up with their own story then. It'd be the same thing over and over. Also, Disney got really lazy too, and there's a lot of movies that reused animations, but just put different characters in. Same like scenery stuff like that. There's one in Jungle Book that also was the same as I think like uh, Winnie the Pooh, maybe I can't remember exactly what it was, but they reused animation and stuff like that. I think Disney's kind of in a better place than they were a couple years ago. They were in some bad times a couple years ago, and yeah, that's about all I got to talk about. My phone's about to die. See you guys later. Thanks for tuning into the stream. I will be live again tomorrow, probably earlier that day. Then I will also I'll also probably post at least one short, possibly two. Um, yeah, yeah. See, Dawson knows what I'm talking about. He's heard the exact same thing. So, is Walt Disney a fraud? Is the question we should be asking. I personally believe so. I believe so. All his stories, were one-hit wonders. So, a little weird. A little weird. I think there's a lot of stolen content. So, with that being said, guys, this turned into a lot longer stream than I expected. Sorry, but I got into one of my most biggest rants with movies when they follow those stupid tropes. It is the worst thing. And horror movies do it too. Action movies do it. I think kid characters are so hard in movies when it's a series because it is so easy just to throw that kid into that trope, and it's so easy. It's lazy, but it's extremely easy because you got to give that kid something to do because they were big in the first movie. So, with that being said, guys, it's been Dakota Storms. This has been a great stream. Once again, I'll be live tomorrow. I'll post at least one short. And with that being said, guys, you guys have a nice rest